Hello and welcome to Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC.
A weekly podcast and YouTube channel where we discuss all things Wrexham.
So sit back, put your feet up, relax and let's get stuck in.
Hello and welcome back to episode 162 of Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC.
Breathe. We should mention we're actually recording this straight after the West Brom game. So we decided, as it was an early kickoff, we would record on the Saturday instead of the Sunday, just to free up our Sunday a little bit.
Means I can have a lie-in.
Yeah, Shannon. Well, no, not really. But
I can, you can't.
No, I can't. But you might be driving. You said you drive. So that,
I take it back.
No. My mum and dad are going on holiday and I've got to drive them to where they're getting picked up. But Siân kindly offered, so that's great. So I'll take you up on that. That's absolutely fantastic. So thank you very much for that. Nothing you need to say after that. We're just going with that. Thank you very much. So it is it's worth saying we're recording on the Saturday. The Saturday games are still going on. We always do like a weekend roundup. But obviously we'll have to sort of do that on the hoof a little bit because the games are still going on. I need to make a big apology. Last week I forgot to do Fantasy EFL because everything was a bit all over the shop because we'd just come back from Southampton and we were a little bit tired and sort of thrown the show together a little bit. And I forgot Fantasy EFL. I did have...
he had 5 hours travelling home.
Yeah, I know. I think
3 hours it was, wasn't it?
Ian actually got in touch, didn't he? To say, oh, well, Fantasy EFL? Question mark. And I was like, I'm really
assuming
sorry.
He's doing well for him to
I'm assuming
sort of
so. I'm assuming so. So we will get that in, but like I say, I'll have to sort of do that. Just what in live. It'll have to be live because games are still going on at the moment. So anyway, what's coming up on this week's show?
So this week's show, we talk about our first home league game of the season, which was obviously against West Brom. The League Cup first round match with Hull. We're going to talk about that. And we look ahead at the third game of the season, which is this Saturday. And it's against Sheffield Wednesday. It's a home game again, which is great.
Yeah, that is great. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. We've got the quiz, obviously. I think we're going to kick off with obviously transfer news because we've had quite a big signing.
Cha-ching!
Yeah, we are the big money Reds, of course. And obviously Nathan Broadhead signed last week.
He did.
A fee that's been, I think, distorted and reported in the sort of media this week of £10 million, which blows my mind. I remember we couldn't sign someone once, sort of like 10, 15 years ago, because the fee was, I think, 75,000. And now we're splashing like £10 million on a player.
75 is just a drop in the ocean, isn't it?
It is a little bit. We had initially bid 7.5 million, which was accepted. And then there was a little bit of back and two because Ipswich are a little bit short of players in that sort of area. So it sort of looked like it was dead in the water. Then it got resurrected a little bit. Then they signed a striker on loan and it was sort of like, oh, maybe it'll go ahead. And it's now been reported as 10 million. I think it's probably around the initial 7.5 plus add-ons because that's what you normally get as part of a transfer. You normally get a fee plus add-ons based on appearances, goals, success in competitions, etc., which makes up the rest. So I don't think that the fee is that much different from the initial 7.5 million that was accepted for him. But it probably all adds up to 10 if we hit all the markers for bonuses, etc. So there we go. Look, It's a new transfer record, obviously, for Wrexham, which is huge. I think it definitely shows a statement of intent. You know, it's a seasoned Championship player, very good age. We've paid a lot of money for him. It is a statement of intent, I think, that we're willing to spend this money on him. He's coming from Ipswich, 27 years old. He plays as a forward/winger/attacking midfielder. Quite versatile in and around them few areas. I think he generally likes to play as sort of like an attacking midfielder who drifts out to the wing, more often than not out to the left. That's his sort of ideal sort of scenario I think he usually plays in. It is the third Welsh international that we have signed in this transfer window following Kieffer Moore and Danny Ward's arrival. I'm excited. To be completely honest, I am.
It's a bit weird, isn't it? A bit surreal.
It is a little bit surreal to have. It was surreal, I think, when Connor Cody turned up. That was like, wow, and yeah, that's a bit surreal. Kieffer Moore, that's surreal.
It is a bit weird seeing Kieffer Moore on the pitch, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially live.
Yeah,
he is.
Like in the flesh.
He is huge. He's such a beast.
Yeah, he is.
Even when he's on his knees, he looks taller than some of the players.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think this is a huge signing. I really do. We'll talk about his performance on Saturday a little bit in a minute. But, yeah, great signing. Absolutely fantastic signing. I'm really excited to see how this pans out and how we play him. Not so much just on Saturday, because we've seen that, but how we play him moving forward and what the settled formation is. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit. I
just hope he's worth the money, eh?
Well, yeah, there's a little bit of negativity, maybe, from some Wrexham fans who are sort of, how can I put it? You know, Rob and Ryan have been here for 4 years now, is it? Over 4 years. And, you know, we've just spent what is reported to be, it was undisclosed when we put it out there.
Shock.
Yeah. But, you know, it's reported to be, you know, around sort of 10 million with all the add-ons. And I think a few fans I've noticed have sort of gone, would that money not be better spent on a training ground and improving facilities and all that sort of thing? And which I understand why they're saying that, but we do have a situation where the lads are training at Colliers Park. No, we don't own that, but we have built up a very good relationship now with the FAW and Colliers Park, and we are. It's not quite the same animal that it was maybe 1 or 2 years ago. We've built a much better relationship there at Colliers Park. So I'm not sure there is the urgency or the necessity to go out and acquire land and build a training ground there was.
If we go out and spend thousands, millions, whatever on a training ground...
It will be millions.
Right, millions. But then we don't sign anybody to train in that. Do you know what I mean? It's like, well, we've got to have the players to take us to another level.
Yeah.
So we can't. I just think it's. Yeah, I think it's some comments are just silly, aren't they? But I get why you're saying it. But
I get it. But
we need players.
I'm sort of
with
you. Yeah, I'm with you. I think we've got to be.
I think so too.
We've got to be competitive, haven't we? In the Championship, we've got to sign the players that we need, and I don't think the transfer business is done. I really don't. I think there's more. There's rumours of Hamza Chowdhury. He spent last season on loan at Sheffield United. He's actually a Leicester player, a very much a sort of defensive midfielder. If he was to come in, I'd see him very much as a Matty James sort of replacement. So we'll have to wait and see what happens, but based on what Parky's been saying over the last week, we're not done yet. We're not done. There's not long left in the window, a couple of weeks, but we're not done yet.
That's mad, isn't it? A couple of weeks.
I know.
Till September.
Look, a few outs this week. A couple of outs this week. So Mo File went to Port Vale. Good move.
For him, yeah.
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 I think he definitely needs minutes.
He's done well
he?
so far, I think, being there. He apparently he scored a screamer.
Did he? I didn't even know he'd started. He played.
And Port Vale fans were like, already love him.
Oh, well, fair play to him.
I think it was a header, possibly. I'm not sure. I don't think it was in the league. I think it was a cup game.
In the cup. Okay, all right, fair enough. Yeah. No, good move. That's just a loan move. So he's there on a season-long loan. Seb has also gone to... Seb Revon's, obviously, he's gone to Burton Albion. A good move as well, I think, for him to get some minutes.
They need game time at the end of the day, don't they? And they're not going to get that at the club as we stand at the minute. And you know the game time that they will get at hopefully they'll get at Port Vale and Burton Albion. It'll allow them to further their career. So yeah, I think good move for both of them.
Yeah, I think it suits everyone, doesn't it? It suits us because, like you say, I don't think they're probably going to make the final. They're not going to make the squad.
Not at the moment.
And ultimately, they need minutes. We've held on to them. We've retained them. And if they do develop, still young players. If they continue to develop, they're still our players at the end of the day.
I think that's the important thing to kind of take into account, the fact that they are young, they are still our players, and Parky and the team will be keeping a close eye on both of them, because obviously he's seen something in both of them when he originally signed them. But obviously, at the time, there was better players that were getting more game time than that.
And we've now gone up a league.
So I think it is really important for these guys to get the game time. Parky to keep an eye on them, like he is with Mullen. And yeah, we'll see what happens. It's a season-long loan for both of them.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens at the end of the season. They may.
I think it's rare though that players go out on loan, smash it, and then come back and become a first-team regular.
Yeah,
I think this is very much
the leagues that they've gone into.
Yeah, I think this is very much a shop window exercise. Stick them in the shop window, make sure they get minutes at another club, lower down the pyramid, with a view to selling them when that loan comes to an end. I if I'm honest, I might be wrong. I don't know, and I that's the same for Mullin. I don't see.
No, that's so sad.
Yeah, I just don't see there being anything different in Paul Mullin, just because he's a legend to a lot of people. I see the very same scenario for him. I very much doubt he's coming back and making an impact in this squad.
But obviously he's with Wigan at the moment, isn't he? And I don't think Wigan are very often buy players. They tend to be kind of they do buy players, but they tend to have quite a lot.
They like the loan.
They like the loan market, don't they?
Yeah,
so
they do.
The fact that is their bag, I can't see. No matter how great he does at Wigan, I can't see Mullen staying there. But who knows? We don't know what's going to happen.
We don't. The one thing that did disappoint me is Seb obviously went to Burton Albion. Burton Albion announced it on their X account. Not a word from Wrexham. Nothing. Not a word at all. So basically, Burton Albion announced it on their X account. The official Wrexham account commented on that, saying good luck, Seb. But no official sort of like X post from Wrexham AFC, and there was loads
of that.
And again, there was so many negative comments there going, this is our player at the end of the day. Yeah, I know you've commented on somebody else's post, but just announce it yourself. Thank you very much for your service.
Like they do with everybody else.
Like they do with everybody. And it's just another example of poor communication, and it's something that I wish they would sort out.
Talking of poor communication, I need to talk about the memberships and stuff like that. But if you want to crack on with the last comment,
okay. Well, I tell you what. I'll just finish this off, and then you can have the floor.
I'm having a rant on behalf of somebody else.
My darling, you can have the floor after this.
Oh, thank you.
I think the last one we need to keep an eye on this week, maybe into the following week, is Ollie Palmer. So Ollie Palmer obviously will come on to what happened in the whole game, but I very much think Ollie is on his way out of the door. Parky'd already told him, he needs to go out and find a club.
Sell?
Whatever, either one, it is what it is. He was spotted at AFC Wimbledon the other week. He was watching them play. He was in the stands. He's obviously played for them before we signed him from AFC Wimbledon. So it'd be an interesting one. His family live in Wimbledon. So it's not like some big conspiracy theory. You know, he'd probably very much gone to visit family. His wife still lives in Wimbledon. She's got a business in Wimbledon.
And obviously, some of the players are probably still friends of his.
Possibly.
So...
I'm not sure about that, but possibly. And yeah, so, you know, it's not some like, oh, wow, why is he being spotted there? It literally, he knows the club well. All his family are in that area. He's probably gone home and gone to watch a game that his ex-club or what. But it is a possibility, and it has been rumoured that he might go back to Wimbledon. I think it's a watch this space scenario, that one. Go on, you have your rants, because I see you chomping at the bit.
So, we went to the game, obviously, on Saturday, and I had a listener. It was my dad. And basically, he went to buy the home kit, the home shirt, from the club shop. And when he went in, he obviously they said how much it was, and my dad was like, what about the 10%? Which is obviously a benefit of being I think it's gold membership, or any membership, actually.
No idea.
Anyway, when he bought the membership, it said 10% off merchandise. But then he went to buy the shirt, and it doesn't say anywhere that it's online only. But my dad went...
Is there no star next to that statement, and it's written in the terms and conditions?
Well, my brother mentioned it as well, and my brother's quite, he's probably clued up more so than my dad. Sorry, Dad. So for me, I don't know. I should have read it first.
You probably should before discussing it on here.
Well, no. I've been asked by a listener, albeit my dad. But he wanted us to bring it up because, again, it's like the whole thing from the Southampton ticket thing. Isn't it? It's the communication. It's the missing something off.
Yeah, but we can't really throw the club under the bus for communication when we haven't really looked into and read over what the communication was initially.
I think my dad has had a look, and it doesn't say anywhere
about it being online
about it
only.
being online only.
Let us know. I tell you what, we'll circle back to this next week. I think is probably the better thing to do when Siân's maybe actually done some research and not just drop something out of her brain onto the microphone.
Didn't drop it out of my brain. I got told to say it.
It's not come from your brain, this.
No.
This is just random.
This is my dad feeding it into my ear.
Oh, okay, yeah. Do some research and then we'll talk about it next week,
whatever.
I think. Yeah, maybe. Right, can I go back to Nathan Broadhead now and all the transfers and stuff like that?
You fancy it?
Yeah, all right. Yeah, cool. All right then.
You drive me insane, you do. Absolutely. Drives me insane. I just want to punch him in the face sometimes.
Yeah, but you got to back it up with some actual sort of facts.
I thought the fact my dad had read it, but anyway, carry on with your Nathan Broadhead chat.
Anyway, back to Nathan Broadhead. Yeah, so we, obviously signed. Few players gone out the door. I think a few more players are due in. From what I'd seen online,
few in, few out.
Yeah, I think I was a bit dubious about whether it was a great signing or not.
Why?
Because it felt like a lot of money, and the only time I've seen Nathan Broadhead play was for Wales. So Wales International. I can't honestly say I've watched loads of Ipswich games. I might have watched one or two, but not really. So I hadn't watched him play a lot. But I'd seen him play for Wales. I think the most memorable thing for me was he scored a really late equaliser for Wales against Croatia. So I didn't know loads about him. It felt like a lot of money. So I was sort of like, I hope this is a good signing. But then I saw lots of comments. Ipswich had posted on X saying that he'd signed for us, and there was loads of great comments from Ipswich fans. I'll read a couple out. I'm not going to use names because they're not like people who follow us or anything like that, so I don't want to use their names. But what a great player Nathan is, real game changer, underutilised in my opinion. However, we have got a great deal whilst he is coming to the end of his contract and can't blame him wanting to join his childhood club. One of the most skillful we've had in a long time, all the best. What a player. Everything about him is calculated and beautiful. Very sad to see him go. Looking forward to welcoming him back to Portman Road. Another one, as if the week couldn't get any worse. Another one, gutted. Been my favourite player over the last few years. Deserves to be the main man in a team. Good luck, Nathan. Last one, brought me such joy to watch you in a town show go well. So it's, there was
Broadbean, is that his
they
nickname?
called him Broadbean in that, yeah. So once I read them, I felt a bit calmer. That it was like, okay, this might be money well spent from a team that obviously was in the Premier League last year, didn't have the best of seasons, but they were in the Premier League and he had made appearances, and I think he was more prominent in their League One promotion and their Championship promotion than he was maybe in the Premier League.
Yeah.
But they all had I would say 95% of the comments on there had really positive things to say about him.
You're always going to get the odd fan though, aren't you? It's
Yeah, there
he's
was.
rubbish, he's got two left feet,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Hull. So we didn't go to the game.
We didn't. You were working.
I was working, unfortunately. Siân didn't want to go without me, and because I'm such a hoot at the games.
No, you wouldn't give me the money to go.
That's absolutely not true.
No, I didn't want to go.
Yeah.
I did want to go, but I didn't. I like going to games with Ryan, so it's a bit. Yeah.
It always feels a bit weird, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because we're at like I was going to say a double act then, like we're on deck or something, but it's like, so you want to experience things together, don't you? And all that sort of thing. And I couldn't get the time off, unfortunately. New dugouts and screens on show. We had our on-site reporter for the night, didn't we? Sending us videos and clips. So my dad went to the game on his own. And he was sending us videos of this is how close the dugouts are, this is the screens and all that sort of thing. Oh, there's a steward standing in my way, I've had to tell him to sit down and all this. And, so it was nice to get like an in-depth sort of like, what it's like. 11 changes. We sort of mused on this last week a little bit.
We did, yeah.
And I said it's probably going to be 11 changes. Yeah. Starts for Harry Ashfield and Aaron James, which I love to see. That's great, because I still want Harry Ashfield especially to be getting minutes. I don't just want him to be part of a matchday squad. I want him to be getting on there and getting minutes. So that was lovely to see. Elliot, I suppose it's a bit of a blast from the past now. Elliot Lee put us 1-0 up with a deflected shot. And then second half goals from... Ollie McBurney, a Trust ex-Chester loser.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he played for Chester for a bit. I hate him anyway, but that just makes it worse. He made it 1-1 just before half-time. And then there was goals from Ndala and Crooks, made it 3-1 with just a few minutes to go in the second half.
Well, let me tell you a story.
Go on.
So we, obviously, because we didn't go to the game, we watched it at home on Tuesday night. And it was me, my mum and dad, and our 13-year-old Alfie. And we watched it, and it got to 3-1. And it was kind of like, getting into the last few minutes, mum and dad like, we're just gonna go now. And I was like, okay, see you whenever. And then literally, I think I rang them because I think they were down just down the road. Actually, they hadn't been gone that long. And Ollie Palmer had scored 2 goals and it was 3-3.
2 goals in 70 seconds he scored, 91st and 92nd minute.
The first header was a screamer. Second header was all right. It wasn't as good, but...
I think I need to teach you what a screamer is, because I think you've used it twice in this podcast. His header was not a screamer. So a screamer is something from long distance that is hit with fierce pace and velocity. So, like,
all right. Well, in my world, it was a screamer.
So like a 90-mile-an-hour strike.
Like a wind ass.
Yeah, like a screamer. So it's traveling so fast through the air that it's whistling. That's a screamer.
All right, he scored a corker.
Yeah, go with corker.
He scored a corker.
Yes. Yeah,
There
it
you
was.
go.
The first one was a good header. Second one,
It was a corker.
corker. Little corker it was. I like that, yeah. That's what I didn't know what you were going to say when you were going to change it, and it couldn't have been better. I think corkers, yeah.
I like saying corker.
Little corker, that
You're
was.
a little corker.
Thank you. So game finished, straight to penalties. We scored 5 out of 5.
That hasn't happened probably ever, maybe.
I didn't know, it probably has. But I mean, I remember Port Vale last season. We were awful at penalties last season.
And every single one took their penalty with like such...
It was they were clean.
There was no like, you know, oh God, this isn't going in. It was like straight past the goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think there was a few, as they were walking up, you were sort of going, I'm not sure about this. Oh, no, they've scored. I'm not sure about this one. Oh, no, they've scored.
I think a few people, obviously, I think if Ollie Palmer hadn't scored those 2 goals and he was stepping up to take the penalty, you'd think, oh, Christ.
Yeah, maybe.
But his penalty was a corker.
Yeah. That's your new word.
That's my word of the week, everybody.
Word of the week, corker.
Corker. If you comment, if you get that in, you get a point.
Let's see how many. You get a point. A bonus point for the quiz. If you could just comment, spam corker in the comments.
It has to be in context.
Let's just see how many corkers we can get in the comments. I want at least 10 corkers in the comments.
I would like
please.
it in context.
Yes,
but
please.
Anyway.
No, absolutely not. I just want a single word corker in the comments. Look, we've had the draw for the second round. We're going to play Preston.
Boring. So funny. I was sitting there on what day was it? Did it happen?
The draw was on
Thursday or Friday? No, Thursday.
I think the draw was on Thursday.
I was sitting there watching the draw, and literally they drew out number 19 against Preston North End, and message going, Preston, bore off. That was it. Nothing else.
No, it's no offence to Preston, but there was some decent names in the northern
Leeds
part
and
of
Everton would have been.
I think Man United were in there,
They
weren't
were,
they?
yeah, actually.
And it's sort of like going, Preston.
We're playing them twice in the league anyway.
Yeah, and it was just sort of like, oh God, yeah, whatever. Look, that tie is going to take place. It's a 7:45 kickoff on the 26th of August. That will be in all the usual places wherever you are in the world if you want to watch that. But yeah, into the second round, the same as not last year. We were out in the first round last year.
We were. Yeah.
Season before, we went out in the second round. That was on penalties as well. That was Bradford.
There were a lot of penalties being flown around on last week, wasn't there? In like EFL game,
loads.
EFL Cup games and all that kind of jazz.
Yeah,
it just went to penalties constantly.
Yeah, the main reason for that is they've ditched extra time.
No, I get that, but the fact that all these teams were like drawing or whatever.
Yeah, no, but the point I'm making is because they've ditched extra time, a lot of them games that did go to penalties in the week would have been resolved in extra time. So in previous seasons, you may not have seen as many penalties because the game would have been drawn, gone to extra time, someone would have scored, and you might have only had 2 or 3. Now it goes straight to penalties. You've got a lot more games that are going to penalties.
I prefer that. Extra time is just like...
Well, me too. I'm with you on that one.
30 minutes of extra time, it's just like, nah.
Extra time for the FA Cup and all the other cup competitions, ditch it.
Have the FA Cup not ditched it then?
I don't know, and I hope not, because I think it's really good. And the FA Cup. I think it's really exciting. So
some comments. We've got JB, heck yeah. Where was that version of Bolly? I had to read that for a minute. Heck yeah. Where was that version of oh my God, I just read it. Bolly for the past 2 years.
He was on the bench, Jay. On the bench or sitting at home watching the game at home.
With his son.
Yeah.
Rick O'Brien, some Stoke Kairos magical Disney dust strikes again. As they say, that's why you never leave a Wrexham game early.
Put a pin in that. Just talking about that. Did you see the video of loads of Wrexham fans trying to run back into the ground after they'd left? Never leave a game early. I have zero sympathy for you. If you've got a season ticket, I'd revoke it. That's what I'm saying to that. Let's move on to the West Brom game.
So we were back at home on Saturday. It was nice to be back. It was a bit surreal having the dugout to the right of us. We've got new ordering facilities in the concourse now, which is a bit new food, different foods.
Yeah,
chips are smaller, but you know.
Chips are smaller and more expensive. Everything seems...
A bottle of Pepsi was £2.90.
Well,
is that normal?
No. Well, weirdly, you should say that. On the screen, it's got soft drinks, £3.10. So I don't know how you got it cheaper, but
it was a young lad. So you know.
So it was £3. It says £3.10.
I joke.
So a lot of the stuff seems more expensive. But
if it's better quality,
they do pizza now as well.
They do. I'm trying that next. I'm trying that next Saturday.
Yeah, I think.
If the food's better quality, and you know it's warm and not like cooked or cremated, then I'm all for paying a little bit extra.
Yeah, but it's got to be a cap, and then we can't go mental. But we do have £10 million strikers to pay for, so the money's got to come from somewhere, hasn't it?
10 million. Shut up.
Well, he was, wasn't he? Ultimately, that's what he will cost us in the long run.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
You know, it's not. We're not outlaying 10 million straight up front. We're paying. You know, there's lots of different ways of how you pay.
A payment plan.
Basically, that a lot of clubs do that. So you will pay an initial fee, then you'll have a payment plan of playing this in 6 months, this in 12 months, this in 18 months, and you'll have the bonuses, which are sort of like key markers as to, okay, he's made 30 appearances for you, he's whatever. So there are things like that. If anybody is really interested in that, I would suggest Googling Sean Harvey on FHEOSZXK, because he actually talks about the ins and outs of transfers.
That's where I've heard it then, because I didn't just come up with that.
No, it is very interesting if you want to get a bit more in depth in that. Danny Ward kept his place in the starting 11. Mm-hmm. Were you surprised at that, or
what, that he kept his place?
Yes.
No, not at all.
No.
I put him down as my in my prediction.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised. I think we sort of said this last week. That whoever played on Tuesday wouldn't play on Saturday.
And maybe that's what they're going to do. They're going to maybe not rotate, because I think you do need to be consistent with your goalkeeper. I think Danny Ward, as much as it pains me, for a time anyway, is going to be number one.
I think we'll have to see how it goes. I mean, ultimately, he has... And I'm not putting all this on him, and don't think that I am. But we've had 2 league games, and he's conceded 5. Okay, so
who, Danny Ward?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So I think you know, and it's not all on him. It's not just up to him to stop that happening, but maybe that you know, if that trend were to continue, I dare say there might be a little bit of a change.
So do you reckon in the Sheffield Wednesday game he'll be...
No.
You don't think he'll play?
No, I think he'll play. Yeah, I don't think there'll be any change in that, no.
Okay.
I don't know. Same back 3. Wing backs, obviously, Barney kept his place. McLean came in to replace Kakache, who wasn't in the matchday squad. I think we got a clear indication on Saturday of who our captain is as well, because McLean was named as captain because he started. So that obviously points quite significantly to the fact that Matty James was captain last week because Jimmy wasn't starting the game. Jimmy starts the game, he had the armband. So I think the reason we've had no real announcement about captain...
because it hasn't changed.
It's because it hasn't changed.
Yeah.
It's still Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we are moving more towards a box midfield slowly. I think we saw this against Wellington Phoenix a little bit. So I'm sort of expecting to see moving forward like a 3-4-2-1. sort of like box midfield. So in the sense of you'll have your normal, so like a double pivot in midfield. So you'll have your 3 centre backs, your 2 wing backs are part of the 4. Then you've got your double pivot, which is your 2 central defensive midfielders, which is like Matty James and Lewis O'Brien. And then the box is created by 2 central defensive midfielders and 2 central attacking midfielders, which you would more than likely moving forward be Josh Windass and Nathan Broadhead. And you would have 1 out-and-out striker in front of them, which is likely to be Kieffer Moore. Mm-hmm. So that is the direction I think that we are heading towards. We will just have to wait and see if that actually happens. It was probably more like a 3-5-1-1 on Saturday. Where,
so many numbers.
Where we very much had a flatter sort of 5 in front of the back 3. And it just felt a slightly... Yeah, it was like a 3-5-1-1, and it just didn't feel quite as dynamic as I expected it to be. But that's something that will happen over time, in my opinion. How do you feel about the dugouts next to us? We got full experience of it on Saturday.
I'm a bit gutted. I like them being there. I'm a bit gutted though that our players are like on the other side. We're next to the blooming away players.
Yeah.
Away team. So it's like that was a bit rubbish. But yeah, I quite like it.
I quite like it. I mean, when they come out of the tunnel, they obviously head over to the pitch. They have their little lineup thing, don't they? Which is now right in front of us and they're facing us when they used to face the Wrexham lager stand.
Now so we get to see it.
We get to see it. And it's so strange because they're so close to us. And it's sort of like you're seeing someone... But we see them every week. But because they're so close and there's players in the dugout, it's got a weird feeling to it, hasn't it?
What did you say, Ryan? What does it? You said I'm sure it'll wear off. But what did you say it felt like?
I can't remember what I said it felt like.
Ryan said it feels like he's a competition winner.
Yeah, I did say that. That's what it sort of because you're so where our seats are, we're so close to the pitch and we're right next to the dugout. It does feel like you're a competition winner and you're sitting there, you've won some competition, you get to go to a Wrexham game and you're sat next to the bench and yeah, it did feel like that. And yes, you're very right. I think it will wear off.
Yeah,
over
it
time.
Was nice though. Kind of Parky, obviously, when he comes out, he used to clap towards the Wrexham Lager fans. But obviously, because he was coming over to our stand, he was clapping like us, our fans.
Yeah.
And it was really nice. And obviously, it's kind of nice because you always see Parky. I mean, you could hear him when he was in the Wrexham Lager stand. But you always wonder what's happening. You want to kind of you want to be there and in the kind of thick of it. So yeah, that was good to see. Kept seeing the blooming head of the away teams bobbing up and all that jazz, and that was annoying. But
yeah, look, it's just something new, isn't it? It's quite like I
like the glass that's it's
yeah.
But it was very sometimes because obviously all the people that were sitting in the stand where the dugout was, my seat being one of them, not stand, seat, sorry. My seat being one of them. I'm happy with my new seat, by the way.
Yeah.
I think it's in a really good position.
Good.
But there's lots of people that were there, have kind of moved to the same row as me. And it felt fuller than it usually does.
Yes.
And the one thing I do worry about us not winning games is are people, some people who are not like, avid fan, like real gritty.
Are they going to drift? You're worried about them drifting away.
Drifting away, and then you're going to get empty seats, and then it's going to be like, well, these poor people who like really want to get a season ticket can't get a season ticket, but there's all these empty seats, and I do worry about that.
Yeah.
But hopefully it won't happen.
Suck it and see, I suppose. And
we'll be at every home game, and hopefully quite a few away games. So that's...
hopefully that doesn't happen. I don't think it will. I think we're definitely still riding that crest of a wave, and we're only 2 games into the season. There's no need to panic and all that sort of stuff. Look, Isaac Price put West Ham 1-0 up.
West Ham?
West Brom, sorry.
Christ, you're getting a bit ahead of yourself there, aren't you, love?
Oh, yeah, we're not in the Premier League yet, no. Isaac Price put West Brom 1-0 up. I was very impressed with him. I thought he was a very good player. He just got it that he wasn't playing for us, I suppose. We saw Broadhead earlier than we expected. He was obviously on the bench for the West Brom game. Josh Windass got injured, so it looked like a hamstring problem. He pulled up and he
You were funny. He's down.
Yeah.
Code red.
I'm by the bench now. I might as well start going, Parky, he's down. But yeah, so he went down, and bizarrely, it was like a weird prophecy that I made this week. I was talking to somebody.
It's your fault.
And it sort of feels like it is my fault a little bit. So he went down, hamstring injury. He went off after half an hour. Nathan Broadhead came on. I was talking to someone during the week, and I said to them, I can guarantee you that Josh Windass will either get injured or sent off on Saturday because he doesn't want to play against Sheffield Wednesday. And now...
That's where he came from,
That's
wasn't
where
it?
he came from, and he loves the club, and I said, I bet you.
Well, he doesn't love
I
them
bet you, right? And then...
Why has he come to us if he loves them so much?
Because he wasn't getting paid, that's why.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So and then that happened, and I sort of felt like, oh, God... I've sort of predicted, and now it sort of looks like the people I was talking to, I think I gave the impression that he was going to fake an injury so he didn't have to play against Sheffield Wednesday.
And Ryan's got a voodoo doll.
Yeah, no, but it's not that. And it was sort of like I'd made the joke that it almost as if he was going to fake an injury so he didn't have to play against Sheffield Wednesday, and then he goes down injured within half an hour.
How did he walk off the pitch? I didn't see him walking off the pitch.
I didn't either. No, I didn't see him leave. I think when he went down and the medical team were going on, I think I went to the toilet because I knew there'd be a nice little break. So, and then when I came back, that's when Nathan Broadhead was already on. So I don't know. It's a wait and see on his injury, I think. Even if it is an injury.
Talking of injuries, though, it was good to see Kieffer Moore back.
You
were like, Ryan had gone to the bar, and the lineup had come out. And I said, Kieffer Moore's playing. And he went, I won't say exactly what he said because Ryan will have to do more bleeping. But he basically said, shut up.
Yeah. That's such a polite way of saying what I said.
I was like, yeah, I'm being serious. And I showed him the lineup and he was like, oh, okay.
I'm shocked. So shocked. I was like, from what I heard, he was due to have a scan on Tuesday on his ankle ligament damage. But when they went to do it on the Tuesday, his ankle was still too swollen to do the scan, so they'd put it off. So the fact that he was there, I was like, what?
And he's obviously been doing training throughout the week as well, I'm assuming.
I'm not sure about that. I don't think he has. No. He might have been doing light work in the gym, but I don't think he's been doing any training.
Do you think that kind of translated onto the pitch today?
On Saturday.
On Saturday, sorry, I do apologise. We're recording this. This is live on Monday.
Yeah, I don't know. He just looked fresh. He looked fine.
I don't know. I said to my brother, I was like, I just think he's a bit off his game today. And I don't know.
I think he looked all right to me.
I just think because I was expecting him to be cracking these goals in every now, all these goals. When you get a new signing and you see all this like stuff about them in the papers, and not papers, we don't read papers anymore, do we?
It's not
Who buys a paper? I know, yeah. Online and on social media and stuff like that, you think, he's going to score us loads of goals.
Yeah,
and then they don't. You're like, oh.
He's never really been that player, but
wasn't he playing in the position of a striker though on Saturday?
Yeah, he is. He is a striker. He's an out-and-out striker, but he's very much more hold the ball up and bring other people into play, as opposed to out-and-out selfish goal scorer. He's never really been that type of player. So,
well, you need to be more selfish, Kieffer. If you can get that ball in, get it in, my friend.
Look, Lewis O'Brien scored his first goal. He drew his level, 1-1 at half time. I don't know what the hell that noise was.
It's my phone. Sorry, guys. Shall I turn it down?
No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. It's raw and real. Lewis O'Brien drew his level, 1-1 at half time. And I think in the first half, we'd accomplished everything that I wanted us to, in the sense of I just want to see us be competitive. And on Saturday at half time, I was sitting there going, do you know what? We don't look out of place. We are competitive. We're right in the game. I'm happy with this. If it finishes 1-1, so be it. I think
I got my prediction right.
I think we looked in that first half like a very evenly matched team, and that's a team that are very much chasing playoffs or promotion this season. I thought that would have been a good, solid result. But it didn't really go like that in the second half.
Again,
I say I want us to be competitive, but I think 5 games in, if we've still got no points, I would take being battered for 90 minutes just to get a win. I think my mentality might change a little bit. You know, I'm here.
I hope to God we're not 5 games in with no points. That'd be dire.
Well, we're 2 games in with no points at the
moment.
Yeah,
but so. That's not 5, is it?
Second half felt tougher though, didn't it? Or was it just me?
No, same as Southampton. It just, we're talking about Nathan Broadhead being one of our biggest signings, financially.
Yeah.
And he, obviously, he came to the dugout. And he looked knackered. And he'd not been on that long, really.
No, he did. But he did. Yeah, I know.
But then you don't know how. Obviously, he has been playing games for Ipswich.
Bit part. He's very much bit part. He hasn't been starting and playing full 90 minutes. And it's all about match fitness.
So I think that's something that is going to come with time. I think.
Yeah. I think I felt less confident every time we attacked in the second half and more pessimistic every time they attacked in the second half.
I was fed up with the ball going to their end.
And I did another stupid thing. They had a player called Jed Wallace. He was warming up. So we've got all the players warming up on our side of the pitch.
That's good as well. I get to see the men taking their tops off everybody.
So Jed Wallace was called over. He ran past us, taking his training bib off. And he ran past, and I was like, God, how old's he? Because
younger than us, everybody.
Much younger than us. But he just looked, he had an old look to him. He came on, and within 28 seconds, he'd scored.
So he came on the 74th minute and scored in the 74th minute.
Yes.
Ryan ate his words.
Completely. I did took the mick a little bit. He walked straight on the pitch and scored, and I was going, that's not the guy I was just taking the mick out of, is it? So yeah,
I feel like Ryan has some unknown powers that we might need to investigate,
and we might need to start using them for good instead of negativity. Yes, maybe.
We?
Well, you just said we. You said we, not me, and I just
no. I
said
we need to investigate.
Oh right,
but you need to rein it in.
Okay, I'll start using them better.
Start using it better.
It's like when you're Spider-Man, though, isn't it? And when you first get your powers, you just don't quite understand them.
Spider-Man's not real.
How do you... Okay, whatever.
You're just going to say, how do I know? Well, darling.
Look. I'm just saying.
Deadpool's not real either.
What? No, I'm joking. Right. Look, we took a chance. We took Matty James off. We put Sam Smith on, a striker on for a midfielder. Might as well go for it, a 2-1 down. A minute later, we conceded a third to go 3-1 down. Sam pulled one back at the death, but obviously it ended 3-2. Disappointed.
I'm more disappointed from Saturday's game
than
I was after the Southampton loss.
You were more disappointed about West Brom?
Not necessarily the team, losing against the team,
yeah,
but the fact that we were at home, the fact that,
we were in it.
We were in it, and I'm probably more disappointed. But it kind of... it felt the way that the first half went at Southampton, and the first half of the West Brom game, and then the second half Southampton, and the second half of West Brom, they kind of like were very similar.
They were similar. I think we did a lot better in the second half against West Brom, obviously. I think I'm the opposite to you. I think I felt much more disappointed after Southampton than I did after West Brom. I understand why you're saying what you say, and I'm not saying, I completely disagree. I understand why you were disappointed, because we were a lot more in that game, and it did feel like a game that we could go on to win or at least get points from. The Southampton one was so late and so cruel that it did crush me. It did crush me a little bit, but I do feel like we deserved something more from the West Brom game than we did from the Southampton game, perhaps. But it really I don't know. I want some points on the board. And I think I can start to take a breath and feel a little bit more relaxed about it. Because at the moment, the thing that we were staring down the barrel of a whole season and it being really daunting, each game that passes, it feels more daunting, I think, until we start getting some points and racking up points. Because you don't want to be left adrift at the bottom and having to claw your way back, which can happen very quickly. 5-6 games in, you could be staring down the barrel of being 9 points adrift, potentially. So
at least we're scoring the goals, though. We are scoring goals.
Yes.
I know that doesn't really make it. It doesn't, like, whatever the word is, something the blow. What's the word? What's the thing?
Something
the blow.
Soften.
That's the word.
Right.
Soften the blow of losing. But
I was reading a comment that we were going to read out next, and I wasn't listening to you. Very unprofessional. I do apologise.
Yeah. So the fact that we are scoring goals, because sometimes it gets to a point where goal difference is really, really important.
And not scoring goals, you're never going to win games. So the fact that we are scoring the goals.
Exactly.
I think first comment to read out, Wrexham TN said, get defence tightened up and we should be competitive. And I think that's a key point. Conceding 5 in the last 2, I think just some small little tweaks. I think Max looks great. I think Lewis Brunt looks great. Connor Cody, very masterful. We heard him shouting and marshalling the defence and, and all that sort of stuff. And
that's what we need.
Just a few little tweaks in there and tighten things up, and I think we'll be okay. And as long, and like you say, we are scoring goals.
Yep.
So there's positives to take from it. It just would be nice to have some points on the board.
Absolutely.
Nicole said, I'm not sure I understand the substitution strategy. Why not get more fresh legs out there when you have players who looked gassed by the half? Trying to stay positive. There's still lots to come.
I agree with Nicole, to be honest. I think, you've got nothing to... He bought on Sam Smith, took Matty James off. I feel like, maybe do a few more changes.
I do feel like we're lacking a bit of depth. And I do feel like...
And that's weird because we've always had strength and depth.
Yeah, but I think there is depth there. But I think the problem is that we've brought in there's such a higher calibre of player now that the players that we have don't feel like they cut the mustard in the same way as they did last season.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why it feels like we're lacking a little bit of depth, I think.
Mark Slater, I'm an Albion fan. Wrexham played very well. Every time you put the ball in the box, I was crapping myself. Marie from SoCal, being positive. 4:30 a.m. kickoff hurt.
Yes, I bet it did.
Yeah.
Richard Willison, Parkinson is a perennial loser in the Championship. 26 wins, 38 draws and 80 losses. Time to upgrade to a Championship or Premier League coach.
Not a Wrexham fan.
I'm guessing not. Patrick said, the aim for you this season is survival, as it was for us in 93-94. That's
not a Wrexham fan, but I agree. I do have to agree with him there.
Yeah,
I think not getting relegated should be I know, obviously, everyone wants to be promoted, but
we talked about it last week, didn't we? What is success?
Yeah.
And I think ultimately...
Not being relegated.
No, I put it a little bit more positively than that. What I framed it as, ultimately it's that.
Yeah.
But for me, it is being in the Championship next season.
Yeah.
That is it.
Yeah.
Jonathan
Longfield, Wrexham played well when they gel and start getting the final third quality and finishing their chances. We will be fine. End of the day, 2 games against 2 top-end teams. Nothing to worry about at all. David Middleton, they are at top of the table because obviously on our live I mentioned...
They were at the time, I think, weren't they?
Yeah, at the time they were they were top of the table. 2 games in, we didn't get run off the pitch. We need depth and time. It's going to take time.
It is. I completely agree. Just to do a Saturday roundup, because as I said, this would be a little bit.
Then. You sat forward and thought, where's he off to?
It would be a little bit fluid. So Birmingham beat Blackburn 2-1. Coventry beat Derby 5-3. Norwich beat Preston 2-1. Bristol City and Charlton played out a 0-0 draw. Millwall lost 3-0 at home to Middlesbrough. Preston beat Leicester 2-1. Sheffield Wednesday lost 3-0 at home to Stoke. Swansea beat Sheffield United 1-0 and Watford beat QPR 2-1, all in the Championship. Standings at the moment, it's not a great look for us at the moment, but we're 20th. That
was better than when we left the race course.
It is. We're not in the bottom 3. So the bottom 3 are Derby, Sheffield United, and Sheffield Wednesday at the moment. But we are all on 0 points. So that is that.
See, goal difference helps. Scoring the goals helps.
Yes, yeah, it does. Now, I'm going to do a little fantasy EFL update. As I say, it's a little bit fluid, so you've got to bear with me if it's slightly wrong. I do apologise, because this is ongoing at the moment. So first is A. Wilcox. I don't know your name, so please get in touch and let me know your name.
Oasis FC.
Dale is in second, and that is Joshua is in third place. As it stands, I'll do fourth as well because that's Chris Rouse. So Chris, I'll shout you out as well because you're in fourth.
Well done, Chrissy.
Yes. So I'm in 25th at the moment. I'm having a nightmare. One of my players got booked and missed a penalty in the first 20 minutes. So yeah, that was an absolute nightmare. Look, we got one game coming up this week, and that is Sheffield Wednesday. It's the third league game of the season.
Didn't even give me an option.
I didn't know. No. It's at home at the Stoke Kairos on Saturday, the 23rd of August, 3 p.m. kickoff. It's the first 3 p.m. Saturday kickoff of the season.
I think they're going to be very far and few in between, or whatever the saying is.
Few and far between is the saying. But I don't know. I'm not sure. Hopefully not. I do like an early Saturday kickoff, though.
I do as well, actually.
Nice. I do. I know a lot of people hate them, but I actually quite like them. But there you go. Away you go, Siân.
So they were founded in 1867. They are 88 miles away, which is about 2 hours from ground to ground. They finished 12th in the Championship last season on 58 points. They promoted from League One in 2023. They have been in the Championship for... What?
Such a weird way to say that, yeah. 2023. Isn't it 2023?
Probably. But...
2023. I'd no issue with it. It just, my brain went, what?
Anyway,
sorry.
They've been in the Championship now for 11 out of the last 13 seasons. The last game we played with them was a 4-1 win in the League Cup, that's the Carabao Cup, isn't it?
That's the Carabao, yeah.
Yeah. Were you going to start speaking then, or were you just inhaling? Oh, okay. I thought
Didn't
you were
do anything, no.
The last league games were in the 04-05 season when we lost 4-0 at Hillsborough and 3-0 at the racecourse. The nickname are the Owls, because I think they've got an owl on their thing, haven't they?
Yeah, but
they have changed their badge, though, I think.
Yeah, they're not too long ago. They've changed their badge. I have explained why they're called the Owls, if you remember.
Because they can turn their necks at a 360 degrees.
Not that I'm aware of. No, they're in the suburb of Owlerton. That is why. And so there's a suburb called Owlerton in Sheffield. That's where Hillsborough is, and that's why they're called the Owls.
Do you know, growing up, I always thought Hillsborough was in Liverpool.
Yeah, because obviously there's an obvious correlation between Hillsborough and Liverpool, isn't there? So, yeah, unfortunately. Yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah. They play in blue and white stripes. They lost their first league game of the season, which is away to Leicester, and they lost 2-1.
They obviously lost today to Stoke. On Saturday to Stoke as well at home. So,
Obviously, as everybody is aware, they are going through financial difficulties because, again, of owners.
I would say that's putting it mildly. They're in a massive mess.
Yeah,
massive mess.
It's sad.
The players and the staff have been paid late 5 out of the last 6 months. They're still playing. I don't. They are paid up to date at the moment, but I think I don't know. The club's in a mess. Obviously, a few players decided to terminate their contract by mutual consent, but I think if you get paid late 2 months in a row, you have the right as a player to terminate your contract by mutual consent.
Yeah.
Don't blame him. One of the people who chose to take up that option was Josh Windass,
which is a benefit for us.
Which benefited us in the
and
long
he will
run,
get paid every single month.
I would hope so, yeah.
So players, like you said, they haven't been paid 5 out of the 6 months, which is quite sad.
They have been paid. It was just late. The payments are up to date at the moment, hence why they're playing.
Could you imagine the uproar if you weren't paid?
Oh God, I think we'd burn down the place. I think there would be an angry mob.
There would be an angry mob, and so I feel sorry for the lads. But the fact that they're playing a game that they absolutely love, I think that's why they've kind of kept going.
It's lucky for the players that they're in a privileged position because they're not on peanuts, are they? But you have to bear in mind it's not just the players. It's
staff.
All the backroom staff.
Yeah.
It's Doris who works in the canteen, and it's I don't know, but you get what I mean. It's players, it's people who are on, a lot less money than just players, who may not be in a position to just go, oh, it's all right, pay me late. People have got bills and mortgages and all that sort of thing. So yeah, it is sad, and I would never. I think the only fan base who hopes Sheffield Wednesday go bust is Sheffield United, and I wouldn't wish it on anybody. So fingers crossed that it all gets sorted out for them. But I don't think it's the worst time in the world to be playing them. Let's put it like that.
Well, if the past 2 games are anything to go by now. So predictions.
I am going to go for 3-1 Wrexham.
I was going to go 3-0.
You can do what you like.
I'm going to go 3-0.
Okay, fine. Move on.
Yeah.
You're going to make a note of them this week and not just when we're just about to record our prediction video go, do you remember what the scores were?
I've got a few that I need to add onto the spreadsheet, yes.
Okay, look, if you do want to support the show, you can do so by buying us a coffee. And you do that by visiting buymeacoffee.com/me the wife. Huge thank you to Linda this week for supporting the show. As always, your emails are a joy to us.
We love hearing from you. If you'd like to get in touch, you can do so by commenting on YouTube. Yes. Oh, sorry. I'm not sorry. I wondered what you were doing. I thought you were having some sort of tick.
Oh, you're like an owl. You're like this. Facing away from the mic.
No, I was waiting for you to say, I'll do this bit.
Shan always gets this bit wrong, and then she was like staring at me really intently, going, "How'd you like that? Got that right, didn't I?" And I was like, "Yeah, but do it into the mic, maybe." Yeah.
So you can comment on YouTube. You can click contact the show on the podcast, or you can contact us on all social media. We've got Blue Sky X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, or you can email us at me the wife and Wrexham AFC @gmail.com. Passcode.com.
Well done. Quick shout out for Dragon Chat. It's a mental health peer support group. They run 2 weekly Zoom calls. One is on a Monday at 8 p.m. and that is for women. The other is on Thursday at 7 p.m. and that is for men. Best way to get on to them calls, you can find all the details on the Wrexham AFC website. If you go to the community tab, scroll to health and you'll find Dragon Chat in there. Alternatively, if you look in the description of this video on YouTube, all the details of the calls are there. They also meet up in person in the Dragon Chat room at the Miners Project, and that is at 1 p.m. Before every Saturday 3 p.m. game, and 6:15 for the midweek games.
What about 12:30 games?
I don't know.
Okay, sorry.
Thanks, Siân. Right.
Oh, no.
Quiz time. I don't need to hide it from you this week. I've constructed it so you can look at it with me.
Okay.
So the quiz this week is the new guys. Okay. So the answer to these questions will either be Kieffer Moore, Nathan Broadhead, Lewis O'Brien, Ryan Hardy, Connor Cody, Danny Ward, Josh Windass, or Liberato Cacace.
Oh my God, there's been so many.
I know. So the answer, and there is only one. Each one of them is only the answer once. If you get me.
Yes.
I think. Maybe ignore that because I can't remember that's true. Okay. Question 1. Has exactly 35 international caps. I've done the list there for you.
Moore.
Kieffer Moore has exactly 35 international caps. That is incorrect. It is Liberato Cacace. He has 35 international caps for New Zealand.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I was just thinking Wales. I wasn't thinking about anybody else.
Yeah, so I had to reword that slightly because there's a few of them with 35 caps because they've gone past it and they have more. So that's why I worded it as exactly 35 caps. Question 2. Could have played international football for China. Interesting one, this. I didn't know this fact. I suppose the only real reason you would know that is if you'd have read it, but yeah.
Well, thanks for that. I'm going to go Connor Cody because I have no idea.
That is incorrect. It is Kieffer Moore. So
oh my God, yes.
He has Chinese heritage on his maternal grandparents' side.
Oh my God.
Yes. Number 3. As a child, he was a matchday mascot for a team we have already played this season. And there's your list again, if you have a look through.
Does it necessarily have to be a league game?
It was It was this club's opening game of the season that he was the mascot for, and it is a team we have already played this season. I'm not sure how much that helps you.
No, Nathan Broadhead.
It's not Nathan Broadhead. It is Josh Windass. He was a mascot at 19 months old. He was a mascot for Hull in their opening game of the season when his dad played for Hull.
Oh, I should have thought because we spoke about that today.
Yes, we did.
Damn.
Question 4. Have you got any right?
No.
Number 4.
Paul Mullen.
Has let me read it so people understand. Has a son named Albie.
I know Paul Mullen definitely has.
Yes, he does, but that is not one of the options.
I could say Connor Cody, you know, because he's a Scouser.
Yeah. He's got 4 sons as well, I think.
I think Albie is a Scouse, sort of popular Scouse name.
Yeah? Going with that, yeah?
Yeah.
Wrong. It's Danny Ward. Danny Ward has a son called Albie. Bad week for you, this, isn't it?
Yes.
Number 5. Has been managed by Wayne Rooney. And there are 2 answers for this one. So it's sort of out of 6 this week, which makes it worse for you if you don't get any.
Yeah.
So there are 2 players on the list that of the new boys who have been managed by Wayne Rooney.
So what we've got left, we've got Nathan Broadhead left, Lewis O'Brien, Ryan Hardy, and Connor Cody. I'm going to say Connor Cody.
And
Ryan Hardy.
you've got one. Ryan Hardy was obviously at Plymouth.
And then Lewis O'Brien or Nathan Broadhead.
Well, yes, obviously. Ryan Hardy was at Plymouth. Wayne Rooney was Plymouth manager. The other one is Lewis O'Brien. He was at DC United in the MLS when Wayne Rooney was manager of DC United.
Wayne Rooney's done quite a few managing roles, hasn't he?
Yeah, I'm not sure he's been great at any of them.
Not lasted.
No, not really.
No.
But yeah, so you got
1
out of 6. 1 out of 6. Not a great week. Not a great week. So you've got some homework this week. You need to dig out the what is included in the membership, don't you? And then we can talk about this a bit more in depth next week as to what
Dad,
is actually.
If it's on there somewhere, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, so you can do some research. We'll talk about it next week. All right, that's your homework for the week.
Great.
Yeah, I know.
Fab.
You love getting homework, don't you?
I don't get homework anymore. I'm 43 and I have a job.
Yeah.
Weirdly, my boss doesn't give me homework.
Why?
Because I do my work
I'm
in
joking.
work.
I am joking. I'm joking.
Can you imagine?
Oh, God, it'd be a nightmare. Oh, I'd hate to have to bring it. Well, I'm doing a diploma, so I am going to have to start bringing work home. So
that'll be fun.
that is fun. I've got a little meeting on that next week. Sorry, we've descended into just personal chat
Having a
now,
conversation,
haven't we?
yeah.
Look, thank you very much for joining us. We hope this was okay. I think it was okay.
Yes.
Because it was very much come straight from the game, have a sit down for 20 minutes, and then come up and record.
I think sometimes it's better because you kind of like, it's fresh in your mind. You're, obviously, if you win, you kind of adrenaline is hyped up, but I think I quite like these. I think we'll do this more often if it's early kickoffs.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look,
it's going to be so difficult when we play on a Sunday.
Yes, I know. All Monday nights is going to be a massive pain. Massive pain, that's going to be. Yeah. Friday nights, not so much. I'm quite looking forward to it. Anyway, this feels like an admin chat we should be having about the podcast.
I think people like listening to our woes.
Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us. Look, enjoy your week. We'll see you again next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.